Hello, and welcome to On Stage with a Night of One Acts. I'm your host and PTHS teacher, Erin Boni. We're here to promote a new production put on here at PTHS, which is a Night of One Acts. Today I have several guests to interview you to take you through this production, which will be on the high school stage February 21st at 7 p.m. So first, I have two of the actors, Maura and Kristen, who will participate in one of the acts. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
So thank you guys so much for being with me. Doesn't matter who goes first. Can you tell me about your one act and or characters or part in this production?
So we are in a one act called The Cast List, and it is about a group of high school students and some parents that figure out what the cast list is, and they're not very happy about it. Well, some are.
Okay.
But it's all about the drama of what happens when the cast list is released. And I play Sasha, and she gets a pretty good part. I won't spoil it, but she has a good part. So, and
nice. And maybe the cast list isn't what it appears to be.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's like a little twist. Very nice. Kristen, what about yours?
I am the student stage manager, which basically means I'm the one who posted the cast list, and people come to me if there's problems with the cast list. It's just a great comedy, and everyone should enjoy it, I think.
Nice. So you're kind of the confessional, the person they get to come and complain to or be happy with. Yes. I know. Always, there's drama within drama, right? I mean, because dramatic people are generally lightweight. So tell me, what should the audience expect at the show that might be different from other performances you've put on here?
I mean, it's a comedy, so definitely a lot lighter than some of the stuff we've had recently. I think it's honestly like a fun little look into like what actually kind of goes on behind a production.
Oh, nice.
So
It's very realistic to the actions of what actually happened after a cast list comes out. Whenever we were doing the read through, even some of our characters line up with our old characters and stuff like that. So it makes it funnier for the cast, which inherently makes it funnier for the audience, because if we're having fun, then it's going to read better.
Very nice. That's awesome. Tell me, and you two are both seniors, so you'll be, moving on. But tell me what your experience with the Troupe 185, with the Thespians here, has been like for you here in high school.
it has honestly been like the best part of my high school experience. Like all 4 years I've done it, and now like we're both officers.
Nice.
And it's such a great like family, and we all like have so much fun together.
Wonderful.
Coming in freshman year, I knew I wanted to join Thespians. I didn't think that it would impact my life at the way that it did, because it made me realize that I do want to stay doing things in theater. So now I am minoring in theater whenever I did not think I would be.
Right.
It's a great place for people to make friends. I mean, in theater, there's no way for you to not make friends, because you all are so close. You're learning parts together. You're learning dances together, so it's just a perfect way to always have a friend group.
Oh yeah.
That's
And always someone to hang out with.
Yeah. So tell me last, what kind of, this kind of popped out as a new production. I'm sure this is overlapping with, musical things like that. So, so tell me, I guess, how are you guys weaving that in? And I imagine, because it's a little lighter and maybe with a modern feel to it, there's not like as much invested in costumes and things. Tell me how you guys are managing that around the big production that'll be coming out in the spring.
Well, we had this, our one act, The Cast List, we performed it in January, at the Pennsylvania Thespian Conference.
Nice.
So we had already had it done.
That's
which makes it a
perfect.
lot easier on all of us.
Right.
But honestly, like the directors do an amazing job of like making sure all the one act rehearsals are like spread out with the musical rehearsals. So it's really not that bad, at least for us, I know.
Yeah, I'm involved in all three of the one acts, and with this one act, it's mostly it is all juniors and seniors.
Yeah.
And with the other two one acts, it's a little bit of a younger group, and so
and maybe some that aren't as involved in that.
So
that's great.
it gives them a chance to step out, and so they aren't at the rehearsals as much, so it does help. But with the one acts, we only, even with our one act, had about 10 rehearsals. Okay. It's a very short little time to rehearse.
So, but it's great though that something you were able to take to conference and do well with, that now you get to share with an audience. I think that's a great outlet for you.
Yeah.
So, oh, wonderful. Well, thank you guys both for being here with me today. So when we return, we're going to speak to 3 more actors that are part of the One Acts. Stay tuned. We are now back with Belle, Grant, and Joe. Thank you guys for joining me here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so if we could start, I'll start with Belle. Tell me about your one act and your character.
Our one act is called Fire Exit. It is about a group of students and the events that happened in the aftermath of a school fire. And my character's name is Helen. She's very shy and within herself, but throughout the show she kind of realizes I can do these great things, and she gets a lot of confidence throughout the show.
Nice. Very cool. Grant, are you in the same?
I am also
Okay.
in Fire Exit. My character's name is Rudy. He's kind of the whole kind of a class clown, but he really deeply cares about his friends.
Nice.
And is shown to have a real emotional side throughout the play.
Excellent. Joe?
I'm in the other one act, When Shakespeare's Ladies Meet, which is basically, like the title says, it's some of Shakespeare's most iconic characters. So there's Catherine, Ophelia, Juliet, and they're all trying to convince Juliet to not fall in love with Romeo. It's very comedic. I play Catherine from Taming of the Shrew. Nice. She's very sassy, and she has a very fiery side to her.
That's awesome. What a really cool idea. So somebody came up with that, you know what I mean? That, what if they all got together? What would actually happen? Awesome. Okay, so tell me, and I asked this of, the other character, but tell me what the audience should expect to see at this show that was different from other performances.
I think what's a little different from other performances is the story is told through a series of monologues from all of the kids who are in the fire and stuff like that. And I think they should expect you get to get a more one-on-one connection with each of the characters. Also expect the unexpected. There's twists in our story, so
right.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, from Fire Exit, you should really expect a lot of emotion, whether it be sadness or there's a lot of comedic moments as well in it. It's just the dichotomy of the two that's woven throughout the play that is explored.
Nice. And I would say Fire Exit very much like the cast list. I assume these are modern clothing, modern
Yes.
setting.
Very
Yeah.
modern,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, then talk to me though. So, are you guys going old school then?
We are
with
going very full Shakespeare.
Nice.
It's a very comedic take on Shakespeare. So we have all of these traditional Shakespearean characters in a situation they wouldn't normally be in.
Okay.
Having these tragic characters almost perform in a comedy, and seeing the tone shift from what you would normally expect with the Shakespearean production.
Nice. Now, is it written in Shakespearean, not quite iambic pentameter, but do they put some of that flair?
Yeah, there's a lot of thou and thine.
Okay.
But I would say it's almost
still more modern.
quasi-Shakespeare.
Okay. Very good. So it's not going to be difficult for the audience to understand. And if anything, it's going to be, like you said, they're going to take that spin on it. Yeah. That's awesome. I love it. Tell me, and I think you guys are maybe a year or two younger than the seniors that I had. Tell me how you've been impacted by being part of Troupe 185.
I love the people I meet in there. Almost all of my friends I've met through participating in shows with them and being on stage with them. And it's just a really good way, performing is the way to get closest to someone. It's just such a unique experience. I also love that I can be in multiple parts of the production. For example, in this one, in the night of one acts, I'm in 2 of the one acts. I'm student directing the other one, and I'm doing hair and makeup for all 3 of the shows.
Awesome.
And I love, I got to learn how to do special effects makeup and theater makeup through being in Troupe 185, which I wouldn't learn how to do otherwise.
That's awesome. And it's fun to see all the aspects when you can.
Yeah.
That's great. Grant, what about you?
Well, I'm a tech kid at heart.
Okay.
This is actually my first
performance.
role.
Nice.
And so, I mean, from tech specifically, I've learned that not only does it take a cohesive team, but I've done almost every aspect of tech now.
Yeah.
And so I've learned how to work under pressure when stage managing. I've learned how to move things fast with run crew. I've learned how the light board works multiple times with the with lights, and how to run spots. And now I'm just learning how to, truly act. Yeah. And I think it's really taught me that I can do all these difficult things while also, doing multiple at the same time. For this show, I'm on lights when I can, because if I'm not on stage, and I'm acting for it. And so, the split of the two, it really helps me learn.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I was going to say, if something goes wrong, they'll be like, wait a minute, is he on stage? We need him now. We need him.
Yeah.
Let's get him off. Joe, and what about you?
I think the biggest thing for thespians for me is being able to be friends with people from all of the grade levels that I wouldn't normally get to meet, like seniors and freshmen. And it's really a community where we're all working towards the same common goal of putting on a great production. So regardless of whether you're a tech kid like Grant or you're going to be on stage, everyone kind of comes together and creates this beautiful show.
Yeah. Oh, you guys, that's so great. You guys have such great answers. Thank you so much for being here with me today to promote the Night of One Acts.
Yeah.
And when we return, we'll be with the co-directors and also the co-sponsors of Troupe 185 and discuss how they came up with this production. Welcome back. I'm here with Jeanie and Lorraine, the co-directors of the One Acts and also the co-advisors of Troupe 185 here at Peters Township. Thank you guys so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
So I appreciate it. So tell me how the idea of the One Acts came about, because this is a bonus production this year.
Actually, we started it last year.
Okay. Oh, I missed it then.
That's okay. We had a student come back who had graduated and wanted to get some directing experience. So she came back, and it was just 2 shows. Okay. And so it was so successful, and the kids really loved having that extra opportunity.
Right.
So we decided we're going to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So then tell me how you helped choose the pieces, I guess. How you guys chose. I know one of them we'll talk about Fire Exit, but yeah, how'd you choose the other One Acts?
So I chose When Shakespeare's Ladies Meet, and I was looking for something that would contrast well with the 2 pieces that I already knew would be happening. So the cast list, I think was mentioned before, was something that was already being performed because it had been presented at Thespian's conference. Right. And Jeanie had told me that she was going to be doing Fire Exit, which is more of a dramatic piece. And so I was looking for something to contrast with that.
Nice.
And I was seeing a lot of shows that were set in the high school setting where it was high school students. And I was really looking for something that gave the students an opportunity to play characters very much unlike themselves.
Right.
So I went very, very niche, very classical.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be a great contrast to, like I said, as well, not just even the comedic part and the Shakespeare part, but even in terms of costumes, right? You know what I mean? Yours will be more costumed, but what's nice is that the other ones can be a little more laid back, again, because you're also running, co-running a musical at the same time. So, I'm going to come back to Lorraine here in a second, and for those who don't know you, Miss Cygrymus has been here, for a while running the Thespian troupe. How did it come about that you guys decided to co-run it? And things I know about you, you're involved very much in the community theater. So tell us about that.
Well, we were taking a walk one wintry day, and Jeanie had asked me if I might be interested in learning more about thespians and maybe helping her out sometime. Jeannie's been doing this for I don't know how many years, many years,
yes.
many years, and so
10 years.
I feel like I've been along for the ride for at least a few of those in terms of hearing about the program. That only scratched the surface. I'm learning so much about what a big and robust and beautiful and well-supported program this is. But I'd seen the musicals that the Cygrymus had directed, and I kind of jumped at the chance to be a part of that when she asked for some help.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And tell us about your day job, because that's theater as well.
I'm the executive director of South Park Theater, which is a community theater in South Park that does programming for adults on the main stage and a children's theater as well.
Yeah, and that's how we started the whole this whole program, was trying to feature the children's theater. So that's wonderful. So then I'll come back to Jeanie. I'll ask both of you, what was your, or you probably have multiple goals then. So this came from a former student coming back and wanting a chance to direct. So going forward then, kind of keeping this a night or multiple nights depending of one acts, what are your goals for this particular production?
So
What do you hope comes from it, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things we had talked about was how these one acts, even though there's so much theater going on with the musical happening, and then it'll go right into the spring production, especially right in the heart of the musical, this will be a wonderful opportunity for actors who actors can find their place in plays. As opposed to the musicals, not everybody is a singer and dancer.
True.
So it's a wonderful opportunity for those who are more interested in the acting to really, like Jeanie has said, work on character development, work in a smaller cast, so the director has more kind of one-on-one time with actors to develop their skills. And then, I mean, what are thespians for if not for opportunities? And this is yet one more opportunity to perform in something totally different from the bigger productions.
Anything they've done before.
And what I like is that a lot of freshmen came out.
Yes.
And like Grant, we have a tech guy who is killing it on stage, and it just, you know, I just love seeing different people up there, you know.
Right, because there's always the standouts, right? The kids that have been doing this forever versus kids that maybe want to dabble and just kind of jump in.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's great too, is it just gives a lot more kids an opportunity to not just be seen on stage, but be heard as well, right? Because musicals, I mean, there's a ton of background, you know, chorus, you know, whatever you want to call it, but ensemble. But it's nice that these guys get a chance to really be present, which is really nice.
In both shows that we chose, there's small number of characters, and they all are really featured. So they all get to really have a great role and really dig into their characters. Yeah.
That's awesome. So tell me, in terms of coming in, I saw that thespians get to come in for free, right? And then so talking about the suggested donation or whatever, you know, and it's like festival seating, right?
Right, exactly. We were asking for a $10 donation at the door, and it's going to go into our Thespian account, which will help us in the future for field trips and awards night and things like that. And yes, if you're a thespian, you get in for free. And we will really encourage, especially all the kids that are in the musical, and we want them to come and support these shows. Now, this is the first time we're doing the one act that we had taken to conference. So those kids who are juniors and seniors are all going to be in Act 2 of this. So we'll have ours in the first act and a 15-minute intermission, and then we'll do the cast list.
And like I said to Maura, I think it's wonderful that they get an opportunity to present something, you know, that they worked on really hard, present at a conference, and now they get to present it to, you know, to an audience.
Exactly.
Okay. And I guess my final question is, what do you like best about directing in general? It's kind of the big question.
Personally, I just love seeing it come together. The way that I direct is I really like to paint a picture. That's probably just my thing, is I want to see like where they're all standing, and does that paint a pretty picture? Or is it telling the story? And when it happens, for instance, yesterday is the first time I had my entire cast. And I was just floored by them, and I was like, this is right, this is what I want, this is why I'm doing this, you know.
It all
so
clicked.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part of directing students that are still learning what it is to perform and what the script means and all of that is when they read a line and they think they're performing it, but they're really just reading a line. And then when through others, through myself, or just through repetition, whenever they finally realize what it is they're saying, that's such a cool moment. And it happens all the time. It literally has to happen all the time, because you get there one way or another. But that moment where they understand what they're saying,
that aha or light bulb moment.
And it doesn't need to be like big and dramatic. It can be just as simple as like, you're saying a phrase and you're not realizing what the phrase is supposed to do, and then you just, oh, it's supposed to accomplish that.
Right.
Ah, I love seeing that. They don't even
finding that,
notice it.
right, and just finding that meaning in the moment of what's happening to further that story. Wonderful. Well, thank you guys both for being here with me today. So thank you all for watching today, and as for our audience, please come to see A Night of One Acts at the PTHS Auditorium on Friday night, February 21st at 7 p.m., and there will be a $10 donation at the door. Thank you so much for watching On Stage.